Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Lucky other students nowadays. I don't remember having those facilities in my uni.
You know what? Probably our universities did have facilities like that, but we just never looked for it, right?
Really? Reckon? No. Trust me, my uni wasn't as good as that. That's for sure.
Unfortunately.
But nowadays, well, we may say students are lucky to have such facilities, but at the same time, it's really hard for students, especially in this competitive age, where grades are everything, and not just grades. You got to have extra skills. You could maybe a musician, or you like to think around with things, and of course all that comes together in a total package to be a competitive person.
Exactly. You know what, in this day and age, it is all about the complete package rather than how you did in school. And of course it does pay to have a little ways to de-stress in college. We did talk to a doctor about hypertension earlier.
Yeah, absolutely right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's of course speak to Taylor's College, especially when it's about placing, well, if you're a student, placing yourself, or if you're a parent, placing your children into good universities. So let's speak to, first of all, Mr. Frank Meagher, who's Associate Director of the School of Pre-University Studies, Taylor's College, also known as Mr. Frank.
Yes. Also joined by Dr. Roshan Gunalan, who is an orthopedic specialist and an ex-grad of Taylor's College.
Right, yes. I understand, class of 95, eh?
That's right, yes.
Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Welcome indeed. So let's go straight into the meat, yeah? I mean, top universities nowadays, what are they looking for?
Universities are continuing to look at high academic results for our students. I think that has always been a priority. But in addition, students are expected to be well-rounded, to have a holistic approach to the world in which they're living in. And that means they need to be critical thinkers, they need to be very articulate, they need to know how to use the knowledge that they have attained, and they know how to communicate it with others.
That's a key point, isn't it? Knowing how to use that knowledge.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's coming to you in such a fast pace nowadays, yeah?
Yes.
Exactly. So now these are all, of course, not all kids, of course, they're all very smart, but not all have that, those skills. Is that something that probably they would pick up in a Taylor's College?
Absolutely, and it's not done by chance. I think we realize that students, in order to be successful and to compete today in the world of universities, they must have those skills, and we must teach them. Okay? I would like to say that these skills are good for all and necessary for some. Some may not attain them unless they are taught. And first and foremost, I would say that all students at Taylor's become part of what we call a first-year experience, where we equip them to start ahead and to stay ahead in their academic studies. Things such as how to research. No longer is a Google cut and paste satisfactory. We have to know about academic integrity. They have to know about effective communication skills. They have to know how to present themselves articulately and to use the knowledge in the work world that they're preparing themselves for.
So soft skills, communication skills, all this come into play.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, we're gonna ask a former student. Of course, you were a student quite some time back, 16 years to be exact. Maybe in a nutshell, what kind of student were you back then? Were you a shy person when you first started off?
Well, I can't say much about myself, but yeah, I think I was one of the more quiet students in Taylor's. But saying which, I was in the Cambridge A-levels program back in '95, and I think it's a different environment because you're coming from a school setting, SPM, secondary school. It's very different going into a college, and it develops you into a more mature sort of person in terms of the education, academic, as well as the non-academic side of things.
How was the transition though? From being spoon-fed in school, that's what we are, and to suddenly, being forced to stand on your own 2 feet, of course, with the help of Mr. Meagher and the rest of the academic staff?
I think there is a big jump. Basically, as you said, you're spoon-fed in school, memorize and you pass the exam. But in Taylor's, when I was there, even back then, they sort of nurture you into, as Sir Frank said, to think things out, work it out yourself. And they also foster a lot of teamwork and stuff like that. So basically, you have a more mature thinking. You learn how to apply what you learn instead of just memorizing it.
Exactly.
And
okay, no mind. Sorry. Now we've got a lot of school leavers who are actually preparing to, to enter university life or looking for places to go. Probably you can give them, from a student's point of view, what can they do to prepare themselves for university life and beyond, of course.
Okay, I think in this day and age, it's not that difficult to prepare because the world is flat. We know what's happening on the other side of the world. So it's not something you would not expect. But saying which, to experience it is very different.
Yes.
So you're coming from Malaysians come from different backgrounds, so it depends where you come from. But adapting to that, I think places that you go to before, it's from where you come from. You have to adapt to a change of lifestyle, weather, food, everything, and even the education per se. The system is different in different countries around the world, and I think Taylor's actually prepares you for that sort of challenge. You learn how to deal with different situations, different people, and even from
another situation, of course, that transition from studying in Malaysia to, of course, you finished your studies in Ireland,
That's right,
if I'm not mistaken. So tell us about that transitional experience and how it's like, being in a university that's competitive. Everyone there is vying to be the best.
That's right. I think you go in, you get a bit of a shock because Ireland is a place where they take students from all over the world. So you meet people from Sweden, from Europe, from America, everything, Middle East. And so everyone has a different cultural background. Everyone has a different way of thinking and teaching and learning and everything. But at the end of the day, you integrate yourself within this, this group of people, and the competition is there, but it's different. You're not like trying to get first place and whatnot. you're all going for the same goal at the end of the day, and I think once you foster a good relationship with everyone and you integrate yourself well within the system, most people find it quite easy after a while. And if you ask anyone, I'd say they'll say university life was their best, best time of their life.
Exactly, that's what I've heard from a lot of people. Now, of course, one of the first questions that a lot of students will be facing, of course, when it comes to choosing their university, or in this case, a pre-U course, is what to take. There's so many out there. Like Dr. Roshan took A-levels, and then you've got the American pre-U, Australian. So, Mr. Meagher, maybe you could help explain what is the difference between all, and
what's best for each individual.
Exactly,
student.
ease the decision process, probably.
It is a challenge for parents and students in selecting a pre-university program. At Taylor's College, all 4 of our pre-university programs are internationally recognized. The Cambridge A-level program that Roshan was a product of, excellent, very popular in Malaysia. And when I first came to Malaysia several years ago, I was the director of the Canadian pre-university program, which is also an internationally recognized program and still offered at Taylor's. We also offer the South Australian matriculation, which is a 1-year program that prepares students for universities globally. And our newest member on the block, which I feel very proud to be associated with as the international advisor, is our International Baccalaureate program, which is in our Sri Hartemis campus. And it's a 2-year program. It's the longest of all our pre-U programs, but very intense, and perhaps one of the most desirable pre-U programs for admission into top universities around the world.
Absolutely right. I mean, baccalaureate is definitely a medal on your chest when you go around applying for universities around the world. And of course, Taylor's College has been offering this since recently?
Yes, we've been offering the International Baccalaureate since 2009. And we have our first graduating group coming up this July.
I was just about to say, yeah, the graduating group is coming up. Yeah.
So getting back to your question, parents really need to find out what are the characteristics of each of these pre-U programs and which one would be best suitable for my son or daughter. And I feel the best way for this to happen is to come in to speak to our counselors, to our educators, perhaps spend a day in one or more of the programs just to get a feel of what these programs are about, and I think that will help make a better decision in the long run.
So get up and go and just step forward and inquire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And maybe some of the criteria that people can prepare themselves for, such as maybe the budgets that they're prepared to work with, maybe some of them, some parents don't want their children to go so far away. Could this all be some criteria that you have to keep in mind while looking for premiums?
Well, I think parents need to note as well that if you graduate from the Cambridge A-level program, you don't necessarily go to the UK.
Yes, you can,
You can go anywhere to top universities around the world. The same applies for our Canadian pre-university program, our South Australian, as well as our International Baccalaureate program.
So it's not locked in stone, yeah?
Absolutely
No, it's
not.
How about the application process? That may be quite daunting for some. I'm sure you have a lot of counsellors who can help the students go through that. For me, it was always about the personal statement.
Exactly, it is.
How many words do I have to write again?
One of the proudest departments that at Taylor's is our placement center, and we've expanded it immensely over the past years to assist our students in getting access to universities around the world. So Taylor's, we're at the point now where universities actually knock on our door because our students have gone. As I mentioned earlier, we have had over 60,000 graduates since we started. So our reputation is known globally. So universities come to us and conduct fairs, talks with our students, and knowing that these are top students, and the enrollment often occurs even at our college here in KL.
Which is no surprise as it is. 42 years of academic excellence, 60,000 graduates out there, of course one of them being Dr. Roshan. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for spending some time with us. And as Dr. Roshan said, well, university can be the best years of your life, yeah?
Exactly, so choose well. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on the show.
Much appreciated indeed, of course. That was Taylor's College, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you viewers who are wondering about that placement in university, or parents as well. Well, take a stroll down to Taylor's College, or of course you can surf their website. It's on our screens right now, www.taylors.edu.my.
Exactly. Now Naz and I are going to take a quick break here on The Breakfast Show, but coming up next...